say kick it, but that, you know, always worked for me when I worked on cars.
All right, Commissioner Jurassic.
Here.
Commissioner Hoff. Here. Commissioner Belt.
Here.
Commissioner Liebert.
Here.
Trustee Rhodey.
Here.
And President Knutson.
Here. 2 is public hearings, we have none. Citizen comments, this is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions with commission members on any topic they choose. However, due to Wisconsin open meeting laws, the commission is not able to answer questions or respond to your comments. All comments should be directed to the commission. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers are asked to please use the podium and state their name and address. Is there anybody here that would like to make a statement at this time? Okay, we're gonna go on then. Item 4, approval of the regular planning commission meeting, May 8th, 2025. I hope everyone's had a chance to look them over. Are there any questions, comments, corrections as they are presented this evening? And if there is none, then I would like to get a motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve is presented.
Second, Rhodey.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are hereby adopted. Item 5, old business, we have none. Item 6, new business. Review, discussion, and possible action on sign cone waiver for American Family Insurance to allow a 12 square foot monument sign with 2-foot setback pursuant to section 70. This 0.16 acre parcel located at 112 Main Street, PWV 0899955 is zoned as B2 Downtown District. Property owner and applicant is Lou Properties LLC, Chris Lou, agent, work owner. Who would like to start, Matt or Mark, please?
Give some brief comments on this. Yeah, so the applicant is requesting a sign code waiver. They've been working on renovating that facade, the retaining wall that's out there, really beautifying that site. As part of the project, they are requesting to put up a monument sign. There was not previously a monument sign there. Zoning code requires a 10-foot setback for monument signs. There's likely nowhere on this property that could legally meet that 10-foot setback. Therefore, Chapter 70 allows for the applicant to come to Plan Commission and seek a waiver. They are requesting a waiver to go down to 2 feet, place that sign within their new retaining wall landscaped area. There's no clear sight vision issues or concerns with that location. So they're just requesting that reduction in setback to be able to continue the project and install that monument sign as shown on the screen.
Any questions or comments from the planning commission? If not, then do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the sign setback reduction to 2 feet for American Family Insurance for the property located at 112 Main Street, subject to the conditions presented by staff.
Second, Rhodey.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Good luck.
Thanks, Chris.
Review, discussion, and possible action to allow a new duplex on lot 21 Majestic Acres. This 0.2 acre parcel located on the north side of Hillwood Boulevard, approximately 80 feet west of the intersection of Hillwood Boulevard and Zachary Court, PWV 0902158. It's zoned R6 Plex District. Property owner and applicant Michael Kreister. Again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Applicant has requested to add a duplex to an infill lot. This appears to probably be the final lot within that original development. And the R6 district does require that any duplex use come before Plan Commission for approval. Although they are permitted uses, they do need this body's approval before they can be constructed. Taking a look at that general area, there's no less than 10 duplexes in that immediate vicinity. So this is really in character with those surrounding properties included, immediately to the west, to the south, to the east, are all duplexes in this area, and they kind of continue east along Hollywood Boulevard. As Plan Commission does have purview over the approval of the duplex, the applicant has submitted a plan set. It's a side-by-side kind of traditional duplex, garages on both sides, and then the living quarters behind. Just a front perspective view for you. We also have just kind of general site plan for you. As you can see, Hollywood Boulevard on the bottom here, a traditional side-by-side duplex. Full elevations. The applicant is proposing, again, it's kind of a traditional modern style duplex. Side elevations, rear elevation for you, and again, the other side. So with that, they're just trying to infill duplex that kind of consistent with the area.
Are there any questions or comments from the planning commission? Again, if there are none, then I'll look for a motion.
I'll motion that the Village of Pewaukee Plan Commission approve a duplex for the property located at Lot 21, Majeski Acres, PWV 09021158, subject to all the conditions presented by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Review, discussion, and consultative feedback to applicant Christian Brothers Automotive regarding a concept to construct a 10-bay automotive service use located immediately west of Menards and north of Julie's Car Wash, PWV 0901984006. The proposed development would be part of the 38.72 acre B1 Community Business District with a planned unit development overlay and a C2 Conservancy District split zone. Property is owned by Meadow Creek Limited Partnership.
All right, thank you. So today we have a concept review for a Christian Brothers automotive facility. For those that are familiar with the area, we have Menards immediately here to the east. The lot they're looking at is generally in this kind of area. It is not a lot today in and of itself. It's part of a larger remnant parcel that is out there. They'd be having to split off that property for development. It is split zone between the B1 with a plan development overlay and C2 Conservancy. Largely the area they're looking at developing is within that B1. As this is governed by an original plan unit development from 1997, this would have to go both through Plan Commission and the Village Board. In order to amend the plan development, it does take Village Board approval. And specifically in this instance, because it was not contemplated within that original plan development of this area, they'll also have to hold a public hearing for the amendment of that. I see the attorney's looking at me. I actually got something for you when we're down here just so you could have it. But they'll have, my reading was it'll include both that public hearing. So go to Plan Commission, then go on to board for their public hearing, and ultimately would take board approval. Specifically within that plan development, it actually further outlines that automotive related uses take specific approval by the board as well. There was language in that 1997 PD that specifically said automotive service uses required board approval. So kind of an interesting site that we have here. The B1 district does allow their proposed use through a conditional use, so auto service uses are a CUG within that district. You know, looking at this, you know, it's got Jilly's directly to the south of it, the parking lot for Menards to the east of it. It's probably not out of character with what is out there, but, you know, there's a number of processes that they have to go through, again, including the CSM, the plan unit development, and the conditional use grant. They have provided a couple of drawings tonight, some concept plans. And primarily the reason they're here that they wanted to begin the discussion with is actually related to parking. The village ordinance requires 3 parking stalls per service bay, plus 1 additional space per employee on the largest shift. So in this case, totaling 40 spaces. The CUG allows the village board to alter that requirement if the applicant can provide information and satisfy the board's concern that maybe less is available or less is the correct ratio for the development given the style that it is. The applicant has a very, and they can speak further to this, but a appointment-based system that they utilize where they feel, having 3 per bay is unnecessary because people are making an appointment. They don't have people just waiting in the parking lot trying to get into the service facility. So they feel that what do you show, like 30, 32 is appropriate for their development, but that'll be up to Plan Commission's purview again as part of this. Here I just have some elevations for you provided by the applicant on what their facilities typically look like. Largely, it looks like a brick building with some stone veneer. And just some elevations if you'd like to look at them. And I'd like to have some hard copies for you if you'd like to take a closer look. And then we do have 2 concept plans. So the building is located kind of central, just east of the central facility, where people do go into the service area. These 10 bays are on the west side of the building. One of their concept plans shows 2 entrance drives for parking, kind of a employee parking and then customer parking. Second concept drawing kind of changes it a little bit where it separates those parking lots further. They are staying obviously out of that Conservancy District to the west. So they're kind of trying to fit everything in the eastern portion of the site that is outside of the Conservancy District, outside of setbacks. So just another potential concept layout of what they're looking at doing. That's everything I have. I don't know if any questions for me?
Are there any questions for her? Yes.
Is there on-street parking on that street?
Not that I saw.
It is a
There's
private
not.
street at that point.
I've never seen
Okay.
anybody parking on that street, no.
Okay.
I don't know that it's like a no parking area, but I've never seen anybody like parked there.
No.
And it is a private street, that area.
There's room.
It's pretty narrow, yeah.
I was just concerned about, since they don't have enough parking on site, I want to make sure no one's parking on the street.
How many
I
stalls
would
do
assume
they
you'd
have?
see people parking over at Menards.
Depending upon their final layout, right now they're in that 30, 32-ish range, if my memory is serving me correctly. One thing we also discussed with them is the ordinance actually also allows you to lease spaces for overflow. So we suggested they could potentially contact Menards and say, hey, can we lease a couple of your, it's a vast sea of parking lot over there on that side of Menards that's largely unutilized, that if they could work out an arrangement just to have that overflow if absolutely necessary, have their employees park there over if they needed.
Any other questions?
I guess my only question in that parking side would be, it sounds like this isn't a one-off facility, it's franchise.
They've got over 300.
You just want to identify yourself for the record?
Please, yeah.
My name is Ashley Zabel. I'm a civil engineer with Progressive Companies here on behalf of the Christian Brothers Automotive Development. But yes, they have over 300 facilities across the nation. They've been in business for over 40 years. None of them have closed. This range, they really don't have a lot of parking in the queue, if you will, during their hours of operations. They also don't do there aren't a lot of parking spaces being used for anything but parking before you're served. Because if they do have any, say, like overnight vehicles, it's gonna be in that bay so that it's secure. And then in terms of, so you have the 10 spots for the bays themselves of what is being serviced. And it's very rare because of their appointment-based system that you're gonna have more than 2 people in the parking lot waiting for their appointment for all 10 bays.
Yeah, and I guess that would be my question, if you have historical data and things like that. That we could-
They have,
I don't know how you put that together.
yeah, I could definitely, with that, I can coordinate with Christian Brothers to put something together. They
Or
have
if
a
you
lot of
have
sites to
other
pull from.
locations that shows what parking,
yes.
what parking they have, and then it hasn't been an issue.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah,
I know there's
Good to
one
see.
just down from my office with less parking and it hasn't had an issue.
but, okay.
I just have them do over a week, do some traffic counts, go out there, count how many cars they have over a week, and
I believe they've done that for a few of their developments previously too, so I imagine that's something we could put together.
That'd be my only one.
Are there any other questions?
Estimate on the number of employees?
So it's 8 to 10, so the maximum number on one shift would be 10.
Okay, so we're looking at there being 22 parking spots then for customers.
Correct, yeah, if they have 30, if they land on 32, it's, you know, essentially 2 per bay instead of the 3
Like I
per
believe
bay.
this layout shows 32. The other one where the 2 parking lots are connected, it's 29. So it's a bit more of a cohesive layout, but you do lose spaces as a result. And this is a preliminary site plan. We haven't done a survey yet, just in terms of, it is quite a drop that we're right next to, and we're gonna try and not mess with that to the best extent possible. But we do, our target would be this around 30 space total.
Me personally, I've been here 20-some years, and that's just been an empty lot, and it's very sad, so it's exciting. And we don't have we only have one other service level like that in our village area, so I'm really excited.
And then I did review the PUD. I saw the other notes that it has are in regards to the buildings needing to be brick and the roofs not needing to be metal, and that's their baseline for their layouts, is to give a very, when they work with the same architect to go with it's the cottage with the 10-car garage type of feel. When you go into it, you actually kind of feel like you're going more into like a nice doctor's office lobby. You don't hear a lot of, they don't do heavy engine repair. There's no on-site rebuilds done. Their number one labor item is diagnostics, and they do a lot of like computer systems repairs, brakes, tune-ups, fluids maintenance,
Oil changes.
oil changes.
I had a question about the PUD having to be revisited. Is there like does the state limit us to how many times like we can reopen that and revisit that, or am I thinking of TIF districts?
That TIF districts,
Okay.
and even that within the statutory timeframe, you can do it as often as you want.
Okay.
Yeah, with a plan unit development, you can.
I just didn't know if like if we reopen it, like are we limiting ourselves in the future for other development in the area or?
Nope.
Okay.
PUDs are just a local zoning control, so you can do it as necessary. This one has already been amended a number of times. This would not be the first amendment.
All right. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Is the board looking favorably to looking at this? Okay.
I am, you know, and I look at the parking restrictions as being, yeah, I guess if they've got all 10 bays running, you know, at full capacity, it might be an issue, but the likelihood of that necessarily happening all the time, I don't think it's gonna be. Yeah,
Not with their system, and then also too, they're only doing it, they do just Monday through Friday hours from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're only open on Saturdays for the first 90 days of operation to establish their business. So they aren't trying to compete with like peak times that people are coming into these shopping areas too, in terms of like your traffic levels. They're trying to be conservative in when they operate, both for the benefit of the community as well as to be appealing to the employees that they bring on.
I can say, looking at that parking calc, it is on the high end for what some communities have, and that is generally established because things like quick oil change facilities fall within the same category, and they traditionally have a higher parking load than even the 3 per bay. So the code is trying to strike a balance between those very high parking demand uses, like quick service oil changes, and the more traditional auto repair that has a lower. And 3 is towards the upper end of what we see for a loading of that nature.
I'm very happy to hear that anything that is gonna be overnight in the garage, because we do not allow that.
Yep,
As
they rarely have vehicles overnight because it's mostly just maintenance level items, but when they do, it's also for the, you know, peace of mind of the client. They're gonna put it in the building.
Yeah, so there'll be no old cars sitting outside in the back or anything. Okay. So it sounds like we're all kind of on board looking at this, and we look forward to seeing you very soon in the future, we hope.
I look forward to being here again. It's my favorite state.
No, there's no action, just feedback to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Does anyone want hard copies? Just, no?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, though.
Have fun playing dice.
Just say the shape of the dale?
Yeah. Literally around the corner.
Item D, review discussion and possible action to schedule a special meeting of the planning commission. Matt?
Thank you, President Knudsen. We've got a new business moving into the village, CrossFit, and they submitted a business plan of operation application, which is standard for moving a business into the village. Due to a variety of circumstances, including the fact that I was out of the office for a couple of weeks in mid-May, their BPO application didn't receive my attention until the end of May, so it had been about a month. And upon review, it turns out that their location on East Wisconsin Avenue is zoned light industrial, which means for their use requires a conditional use permit and a public hearing and the notices in the newspaper that accompany that requirement. So we're looking at approximately a 4-week process to get them in front of the Plan Commission for the attention they need. Certainly, it wasn't the applicant's fault that it didn't receive my attention for about a month. So the best we could do to accommodate them would be to schedule a special meeting, which I know is not the norm. If Plan Commission members are willing and available on July 1st, that would be the soonest that we could convene and Mark could get the notices in the paper with the paper deadlines as well.
Are there any questions or comments? Is everybody okay with meeting on March 1st?
July 1st.
Yes, I am.
July 1st, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Works for me.
Thank you for your flexibility.
Should be fine.
It would be evening, not
Need to make a motion for
At 5
that?
PM.
Yeah,
What time will it be?
5 PM?
5?
There's a board meeting that evening as well.
Well, right now,
Cancel the
there's a
board meeting.
board meeting. They will consider, on Tuesday night, they'll consider if they want to cancel that board meeting.
So I'll take a,
I may or may not be available that day, but
Okay.
you obviously have consensus.
I'll take a motion to that effect.
A motion to approve the special meeting of the Planning Commission on July 1st at 5 PM for the CrossFit gym.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. There are no citizens here, so we're gonna move right into adjournment.
Liebert, make a motion to adjourn.
second, Rhodey?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are hereby adjourned.